Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss about something very important. So, most people start learning DevOps by just randomly jumping into tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, but they don't really know what problem they are solving, and that's where things gets confusing and people get stuck. So, before we touch any tools, let's fix that properly. So, I have an announcement today that I'm starting DevOps from zero. So, this DevOps series, I'll start from basics to the real world stuff. Basically, who is this for? So, this is for completely non-IT background, or if you are working in support role, or even if you are a college student or beginner, or you are already currently working in an organization as a developer or something. So, for all these members, you can watch this series to gain the complete knowledge of DevOps for completely free. Next, what I expect from this series? I'll keep the explanations very simple and practical approach and no extra unnecessary stuff and theory. Okay? So what's the reality check of this? Many people think that DevOps is a combination of tools, but that's not correct. DevOps is not a combination of tools. In this series, we will learn what actually DevOps is, what a real DevOps engineer actually do in the production. Okay, then we will focus on firstly more on fundamentals, then we will do the practical approach, and after the end of this series we will do more projects on the DevOps. Then what's the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is to everyone should confidently attend the interviews and become the job ready person. Okay, so if you are ready, then without any further delay, let's get started. As in that Amazon is running a great Indian sale. So many users are using this application at a time, and suddenly app got crashed. Users are unable to log in and payments keep failing. So from the Flipkart team, developers saying that it works on my machine perfectly. But operations team told that no, production went down. So let me explain this in a very simple way. Earlier there were two teams, dev team and the operations team. Okay, so what developers will actually do? They write the code. Then what about operations? They deploy the code and manages all servers, okay. Now here where things go wrong, developers finish their work and say done, they give it to the ops try to run in their machine, and if something breaks, then actual fighting started, right? So it works on my machine, developers say, then operations will say no, then why there is a production down, there is a bug in your code. Okay, so that's where DevOps comes into picture. Okay, to build the bridge gap between the developers and the operations team. Okay, let me give you a simple pizza example. Okay, okay, so think of like developer here is chef, okay, and operations here is delivery guy. Okay, what if they don't talk properly? There's no communication between the chef and the delivery guy, so it might lead to the wrong address, wrong timing, then as a result pizza never reaches the customer. As a result, the entire business got impacted, right? Same thing here in the software. Okay, let's see before versus after DevOps. Okay, first of all we can see before DevOps everything is manual. Okay, from copying files, manages the servers and upgrades. Okay, manages the patches, and upgrades. Of the servers. Okay, but after DevOps, so before DevOps, what if something breaks? The entire production gets interrupted. So to solve this problem, DevOps was introduced. Now we will see after DevOps. Okay, you push the code once, okay, once to the production. When you push the code once, then everything happens automatically. DevOps is automation. Okay, everything from build to deploy, everything is automated. Okay, all these things without any stress. Now we will see the DevOps lifecycle. This is a very, very important concept before entering into the DevOps. Okay, so make sure to listen carefully and understand. Okay, DevOps lifecycle. So the flow is very simple. I'll show. The first step is plan. What plan actually means? Plan means what we are building, what features are we adding, what problem we are solving to develop the application, right? So planning is nothing but the to develop the application, right? Then after planning, we will move to the code phase, right? So write the code. Okay, so what write the code means? It's an actual implementation and writing logic. Then we move to the build phase. What is building? Can anyone answer? So building means converting our code. We have already written the code, right? So conversion of code into the runnable application. For example, like creating a package or a Docker image. Okay, that is the build stage. Then we need to test it, right? Once built, we need to make sure that no security vulnerabilities, that no bugs found. So we need to make sure all the things before deploying. So testing is very much important phase. Then we have the release phase. Once test is successful, then only we move to the release phase. If no, then we go back to the plan or write phase, right? So what is this release phase? This is the final approval stage. This is completely ready to go live phase. Okay, then okay, once all ready, we are ready to deploy our app to the production. Okay, what deploy means? So if you are a beginner, you are still searching for what is deploy. Deploy means we move our application to the server. Okay, for example, to upload to the cloud or the production server. Okay, then the next phase is operate. Operate means we keep it as running. The application is already running, right? Once we deploy, the application is running and we need to handle the servers perfectly. Then the last phase is monitor. Monitor is very important, that we need to monitor our application 24/7, because for example, let's assume that if we are opening a Flipkart application, okay, so you wanna do some shopping, but the application is loading, like the white blank screen and the loading bar is showing. So for only 2 minutes, okay, but for 2 minutes only you will get frustrated, right? So monitoring is very important to whether the application has slowed down, or we need to track errors, we need to check the performance of the application, are users facing any latency or any issues, okay, whatever the issues might be, the payment issues or any issues, okay, how about the CPU and memory usage. So all these things we will cover in this monitor phase, okay. But once we find the issues, we go back to the planning stage or write stage again, right? Okay, in the monitoring phase we found one issue, that the cart, okay, for example, we can take the example as cart. Okay, whenever the product is adding to the cart, it is not adding. Okay, that means it doesn't work perfectly as per the functionality, correct? So we monitored it again, we monitor and found the issue again, we need to go back to the plan or write stage, correct? So we need to plan or you need to change the code. Okay, so that's why it is shown as a loop. If you see any DevOps, it is an infinite loop, DevOps symbol. Okay, that means the flow never stops. Okay, now we will move to the next topic, that is SRE versus DevOps. Sorry, DevOps versus platform engineer. Okay, you might hear these terms, right? SRE, DevOps, platform engineer. Yes, so don't get confused, keep it simple. Okay, and honestly in the beginning it feels like all of them are same, but they are not. The difference in it, what they care about. Okay, think of DevOps like you write some code. Okay, you write some code. Okay, now you want it to go live fast. Okay, that means you write some code, right? And you want to deploy fast. Then what about all these stages, right? You, if you manually do it, it will take a lot of time to from write stage to the deploy stage. So instead of doing it manually 10 steps every time, you need to automate. Simple, automate it. Okay, once you push the code to the GitHub or whatever the repository we have, once you push the code, then these steps all are automated. Okay, that's what DevOps engineer will do. Okay, it's basically about making things move faster without friction. Build, test, deploy, all these. Okay, now let's see what SRE can do. Imagine this, your application is running live, users are using it, suddenly something breaks. Okay, earlier I have told you that blank screen. Okay, we can take it as an example. Okay, now stability matters, right? That's where SRE comes in. They think that how do we keep this running, how do we avoid these failures? So completely this is monitoring part. Okay, this idea actually came from Google, because at their scale even a small issue is a big problem. Okay, that's where SRE comes in. Next we have platform engineer. Okay, now platform teams are a bit different. They don't directly build features and they don't just fix issues. They make things easier for developers. Okay, like instead of every developer setting up everything, they give ready setups for the developers. So DevOps is about moving things faster, SRE is about keeping things stable, and platform teams make life easier for everyone. All three are connected, just focusing on different problems. Okay, now what actually a DevOps engineer will do? Let's discuss this. What DevOps engineer will do? Are you ready? Let's start. So the DevOps engineer will automate this stuff. Manages the cloud. Build pipelines. We will discuss all these things in our series. Okay, just be patient. Okay, monitor systems. So you are basically solving problems, not just using tools. I have already told you in the beginning of the video that it's not about the tools. Tools are not equal to DevOps. Okay, so you are solving the problems. Okay, that's it for today's video. In this series I'll keep things simple and practical. I have already told you that. So by the end you will actually know how to build and automate the things. In the next video we will discuss about the Linux basics, because that's where everything starts. Okay, don't forget to hit subscribe button if you like the content. Signing off. Thank you.